Hey everybody, welcome to your Scorpio horoscopes for the week of August 13th to 19th. No planets in Scorpio this week at all. Focus is all on you. It's all about you this week and will be for the next several weeks. We've just recently gone from this focus on the past into focus on you, specifically who you are. And there's a couple of things actually that really come from that perspective for me. And one is that a lot of times I will say that by looking back at the past, it shows you kind of how you got to where you are now. And we're normally looking at that as a really good thing because you have grown from, I mean, if I use myself as an example, which I do a lot, not because I want to talk about myself all the time, but because it's the best example that I know. If I use myself as an example, I have grown a lot in the past 20 years. I was a very different personality. In some ways, that personality has calmed down a little bit, which is good. There is still a little bit of a hood rat in there, that she likes to come out and play every once in a while. But for the most part, I have been able to develop a more accepting, loving personality while still being a bit judgmental because I'm a human being. I have to just remind myself that that's not where I want to be anymore. And sometimes it is still a constant reminder. But there's the flip side of that actually too, where a lot of people look back at themselves and wish they could be who they were 20 years ago versus today, because life has come in and life has just screwed them over and over and over again. And they feel like in actuality, they are not in a better place now than they were in the past. And that does add a layer of difficulty to it. In all honesty, I do feel that way also. There are elements of my life in the past that I wish I could recapture and sort of bring back into the present, because there has been a lot of things in the last several years specifically that have just really made it difficult for me to capture that quote unquote Zen place that I had 10 years ago. And no matter how hard I try to recapture that, I never seem to be able to. And what's interesting about that lesson for me, which I feel is something that's really important for you guys, is that I'm trying to get back something that just doesn't exist anymore. That place that I put myself in really wasn't the place that I needed to be in. It was, on a technicality, this quote unquote Zen place that I'm referring to was actually a place that I had convinced myself that I was at, but I really wasn't, if that makes sense. So here I'm trying to get back something that I thought I had, but in all actuality, I really didn't have it. What I can get back from that is the ability to feel that calmness, to feel that Zen, to feel that sort of wholeness within myself by looking at specifically the ways that I was doing that back then and incorporating what I've learned since then into it. So I'm not getting the same thing back. I am getting something that's different. It has evolved. It is, in some cases, there are elements of it seeming like it's not as good as it was before, but that's because before I had convinced myself that this is where I was at, and the reality was that I really wasn't. So that's why I'm having a hard time getting that back again, if that makes any sense. The other thing is that as we get older, we get less tough. We get a little bit more mushy. We get a little bit more emotional sometimes. And I think that that's part of the evolution of humanity. We have learned in some cases, in other cases, we just been holding so much stuff in that it's just bound to come out, and there's really nothing that we can do to stop it. Either way, our evolution happens in the same way for everybody, but different because we make different choices. And really, I feel like this week, it's up to you to decide, is this something that happened to you, or is this because you're making different choices? Maybe it's even a combination of both. But understanding where it comes from actually gives you a little bit more control about what direction you're going to take it in from here. And trying to get back to a place that you were is really a useless waste of your time, unfortunately, because you're never going to get that back. Circumstances have taken place, they have changed you. The purity there is gone. The world is my oyster kind of mentality. We lose that after a while as we get older. All the experiences in life all play their part, but we still get to choose which direction we're going to go in now. We still get to choose how we project that out. We still get to choose how we feel about it. And that's what's really important. So this week, I feel like this is part of your evolution. And whether or not you are looking at it as I'm better now than I was because of my evolution, or you're looking at it as I have lost something because of my evolution, it's really important to sit down and look at it exactly for what it is and make sure that you're focusing on both sides of that pendulum, because chances are you did experience both sides. It's your mindset that's telling you which one of those to focus on. And that is not always productive for you. So that's what I have for you guys this week. If you love your horoscopes, do click the link in the description and send me a copy, because I love every single one that I get. And I'm Melissa Bruce, the Heavy Metal Psychic. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys next week. I know you're powerful human beings, and I know that you will make it a great week. I will see you guys next week. Take care, everybody.